Hi, I'm Joe Nocera with the New York Times, and I'm here with the esteemed, prolific blogger for Thomson Reuters, the one and only Felix Salmon, and we are discussing a topic that's on everyone's mind, QE2.
Quantitative easing.
Felix is against it, and I'm pretty much for it. So I'm going to start by asking Felix why he thinks this is the worst idea since Alan Greenspan thought derivatives shouldn't be regulated.
It's not. It's not inherently a bad idea. The Fed has an obligation to try and do everything it can to pull this economy out of its present slump, and it can't lower interest rates any more than it's already done. So this is the only thing that it has left. What I worry about is that there's going to be all manner of weird unintended consequences.
No one else in Washington is willing to do anything.
This is absolutely true.
Fiscal
what we need is fiscal policy here. What we need to address unemployment is targeted spending by the government. And what you can't do is simply take monetary policy and use it to replace fiscal policy. And that's what Bernanke is trying to do, and that's my problem with QE2.
But, you know, I'm sympathetic to Bernanke on this because, you know, his long-time view is that the problem back in the 1930s was central banks didn't do enough. I think he feels like he's been abandoned by the fiscal policy guys, and the whole thing's on his shoulders. And he's thinking, this is the only weapon I have at my disposal. And inflation is less than 1%.
I'm with him for sort of half of that argument. It is the only thing he can do. But a lot of the hypothetical way in which it's going to work, and no one really knows whether or how it's going to work because no one's ever tried it before. But insofar as it works by bringing down interest rates and increasing the amount of confidence in the business community, both domestically and internationally. And what you're seeing is a huge amount of opposition and fear to this policy, both among politicians and businessmen in the US and very much among central bankers and other politicians internationally.
The reason China and other countries are upset about it has to do with the notion that it's going to weaken currencies. It's going to weaken the US dollar and then make our exports more attractive, which the Fed insists is not their goal, and they don't think that'll be a long-term thing. Do you worry about the weakened currency?
I worry about a global carry trade gone haywire. As you know, right now you can borrow dollars for free, invest them in all of these overvalued currencies like the Korean won or the Brazilian real or the South African rand. And so you have these countries which are desperately trying to bring in currency controls and desperately trying to weaken their own currencies to stay competitive. And you get this global currency war and you get protectionism. And we don't want any of that. And the more that we encourage that trade in the markets, the more danger we have that you're going to have this huge carry trade in the global markets, and then it's all going to come catastrophically unwound at some point in the future.
Sadly, I generally agree on that point with Felix, which means there's fewer fireworks than we had wanted. Having said that, I enjoyed myself, Felix. Hope you did too.
I did.
We will be back soon. Again, this is Joe Nocera with the New York Times.